Good morning. I look forward today with interest the panel discussion on relooking or renaming human resources as maybe talent champions or something like that. This is a scheduled panel discussion today from 12 to 1 from the National HRD Network 25th National Conference happening at Hyderabad. This theme for discussion set me off to think about the time almost 50 years ago, little less than 50 years ago, when Uday Parikh and I conceptualized the HRD function and made it a part of human resource function and showed linkages with personnel function. HRD was supposed to be a part of a personnel, or you can call it, I think, human HR and OD kind of a function and so on. I think there are all kinds of. I've always maintained that at the crucial focal point of HR function is the employee relations, olden days called as industrial relations. Then personnel management or HR management, subsequently termed. And then comes human resource development. Peace for employee relations, stability for personnel, and growth for development. But 90s post-liberalization, we have seen many avatars of this HR. At one point of time, I think it became, the focal point of HR became knowledge creation, as knowledge workers in large numbers, and knowledge promoting organizations like IT sector and even financial sector and other sectors came into existence. Some of them retermed the HR department as talent acquisition, talent development, talent management, and so on. They use the term talent. Just about 8-9 years ago, when Sadhguru from Isha Foundation said human is not a resource, it's a crime to call it a resource, some of us caught on with this to say that human resource or HR function is being reduced to number-driven kind of a function. And that is not correct. And that is why we caught on to this particular terminology. Human is not a resource. I think there is a difference between saying human is not a resource or saying HR function. To me, HR by now in the last 40 to 50 years has become one term. You may say, what is there in the term? But I think the term with 40 to 50 years of experience conceptualizes some things. It created a profession, it created a movement, all with the understanding that people are born with unlimited talent, and it is the job of all of us to discover our talent, and our seniors, or maybe if there's something like a HR profession, to create conditions under which every human being can discover his or her talent and apply it for larger purposes, either of the organization or the government or a country or life itself. So for us, HR as a term represented, in a way, life itself. That's why at points of time I said HR is the job of everyone. Everyone is his or her own HR manager. And also said HR is a philosophy. HR is a way of life. HR is self-discovery. And every manager is a facilitator of human resources for all the people who work around him and so on. I think that is the way I think the whole conceptualization has taken place. Now, coming to this question, is there a need for changing the term HR? I am not averse to anyone changing the name of the department from human resource development to put it talent management department, or call it capability department, or organization development department, or people management department. I think you can have a variety of names that suit you, with a flexibility that you can keep changing these names, because this particular as long as you understand the philosophy of HR, this particular function or department is one which is amenable to constant kind of a change. So I'm not at all averse to coming up with new terms and managing the function. But I think certainly one should remember that any function has I think as Uday Parikh and I outlined, any function with the title HR has multiple roles to perform. You forget about HR, you call it talent, you call it OD, and so on. Most important role we have outlined in 1974 itself is to help each individual discover his or her own capabilities and discover opportunities for applying them and create peace and happiness in life, because we believed even at the time, unless you are peaceful, you're happy and healthy, energized, you will not be able to contribute your best to the organization. So that is very important, that whatever is the title or because we are talking about a title of a function or a department, the title should certainly reflect the most critical role to be played by that particular function or department or the manager or the facilitator, and that is to help every individual discover talent within and use the talent and create happiness at workplace or outside work, happiness in life. I think the function should normally be able to facilitate being or coming to terms with life itself and using this as a philosophy for constant learning, constant discovery, and constant application. This is all that I would like to suggest at this point of time. I think anyone is welcome to rename the HR department, do away with personnel, do away with talent management. But remember, this is the people management, you may call it. I think if you are averse to management function, it's a people function in which I think the primary purpose is to make everyone be happy, and with that happiness draw energy and do have a self-discovery and contribute the peace and welfare of all the rest of the people around you. That's all I would say. All the best. I look forward to listening